After our blood, free since the flood, they can see in the dark. Vampires, you know they can fly, and fly oh so high, they can see in the dark. Vampires, if you see one tonight, don't put off a fight. Make a friend if you can, a friend who can fly oh so high. Vampires, vampires. After our blood, free since the flood, they can see in the dark. Vampires, you know they can fly, and fly oh so high, they can see in the dark. Vampires, if you see one tonight, don't put off a fight. Make a friend if you can, a friend who can fly oh so high. Vampires, vampires. After our blood, free since the flood, they can see in the dark. Vampires.
Hello, my disciples of depravity. It is I once more to welcome you through the blasphemous gates of infernal fire into the innermost sanctum of this our Church of the Morbid. I, of course, am Jacques Beluga, sinister minister priest of perversion, Pope of Nope, the one and only official and authorized proclamator of the will of the Lord of Morbidity on this very mortal plane. What some of our most faithful members of this our congregation might not know is that indeed, as one can see, displayed on this beautiful document, very official document, is I am not only the master of morbidity, I am also a doctor of vampirism, and therefore I thought it only fitting to do a proper scientific evaluation of the vampirism displayed in this modern contemporary game that we apparently have now known as a Vampyr with a Y. Vampyr. I don't know why they write it like that. Now, in my studies, I have come across several legends of the vampirism. I myself from Germany, we have our own folklore versions of vampires in our ancient history and myths and legend. None of them were spelled with the V and the Y. Of course, I also studied the Eastern European versions, Bulgaria, Wallachia, Hungary, and that place where the Vlad Tepes comes from, Romania. None of them spell it like this. So I don't know why they try to make it appear like they use some kind of forbidden historic spelling that grants them a certain state of legitimacy and authenticity. It is not true. Now, before I start the game, I will make an effort to actually show my credentials, to prove, to show evidence that I actually have the expertise and the knowledge to speak on this very topic of vampirism with authority. This is the original first edition German release of the ultra mega amazing classic of vampire RPGs, of all times. Vampyr the Masquerade Bloodlines. And I bought this in 2005. It was released in 2004, but I was not even aware of this game's existence until I saw it in 2005 for a discount in some computer game store. And I thought to myself, well, they will have to do a pretty darn good job to impress me as an authority on vampirism. Well, they did. I love this game. It is one of my all-time favorites, and rarely has ever an RPG been made with such depth and exquisite story writing. So, to anyone who doesn't know of this game yet, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Buy! It's cheap on Steam and GOG, and just get it. Also, I have studied very thoroughly this classic of horror movie history. Do I have to turn the green? I don't want to turn the green screen off. Nosferatu, the original silent movie from F.V. Murnau, which was partially filmed in a city that is actually the one I currently reside in. Coincidence? Coincidence? Also in the background you might see behind me playing clips of that timeless classic Dracula, the first movie adaptation, I guess, that was actually carrying the title of the original novel, starring none other than Bela Lugosi. Of course, one of those countless works I have studied in order to acquire this title, degree. Also, there used to be this, I mean, it still exists. It's a game that is also good. It's called Nosferatu. And if that doesn't say enough, I don't know what will. But it's not the greatest game on the planet, but it does have that vibe of gothic horror that so few other games achieve. And for this reason alone, this is a thorough recommendation. Then I also, I'm not sure why I chose to show this one, but just a moment. It's Nietzsche, and it's also morbid, I guess. Also, I have an old print of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It is a German translation printed in 1640. No, that can't be right. I don't know when this was printed, but it must be a pretty old print because it's yellow and this is all worn out and it's got dust, and it's also very morbid and a classic of gothic horror literature. Some might even say it is the book that actually started it all. I also have this very scientific book, which kind of, as maybe some other people as well, kind of led me onto the path of exploring the concept of vampirism in a more of a scientific perspective. It's Norbert Bormann. Norbert Bormann. Du möchtest lesen? Hier, mein Schatz, bitte lest dieses Buch. Ist so schön. My wife is very interested as an American to learn the German secrets of the vampirism, which I find entirely, wholeheartedly commendable. Then, of course, if you haven't read this book, my friend, then you don't know nothing. You don't know shit. This is Bram Stoker's Dracula, the book that started the whole modern notion of the charismatic vampire that has not been heard before this book has been written. When did I buy this book? I bought it in my early 20s, I believe. When I was a goth boy. Have I ever stopped? Well... And of course something else that is also very recommendable. This is a German translation of a certain edition of the pen and paper RPG that was the basis of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, the magnificent computer game. This is Vampire aus der alten Welt. Which kind of, I guess, I don't know what the original is titled, Vampires of the Old World or something like that. But it's basically the game of Vampire the Masquerade, the pen and paper RPG, set in the Dark Middle Ages, which is of course so much more of a rewarding scenario to find yourself in when you engage in such role-playing activity. Printed 1996. It does not state the original. Vampire the Dark Ages. I suppose that's gonna be the original title of this edition. And it's a standalone work. You do not need the original Vampire the Masquerade rule book in order to play this edition of Vampire the Masquerade. So if there's one book that you want to buy to play this RPG stuff based around the Vampire the Masquerade system, I would say this is the one to get, because the setting is just so much more interesting and intriguing and morbid with the, you know, the plague and all these things that we don't have in the modern world anymore. It's in here. And I also have some, I don't know if that's not so relevant, but this is just a little excerpt of all the things that I have been consuming and reading over the years to engage in my scientific studies. So I hope anyone who has ever doubted the fact that I indeed do have this degree of what the fuck is this shit? My hands are covered in some, I don't know, they must have been dirty or something. I have the credentials and I have the material to prove it. So this is 100% authentic, real diploma, and I am very much indeed a doctor of vampirism. So now, without further ado, I will literally start the game for the first time now. So if everything doesn't go quite as smooth as we all would hope, please forgive me and be patient. I'm down here. So it will be interesting to see if this game indeed runs smoothly on my system. I do have a fairly powerful processor in my computer, but the graphics card is not high-end, I will freely admit it. It's like the upper range of the mid-end, I guess you could consider it. But since this is a very new and recent title, maybe it will not run entirely without issues. We'll see. We'll see. Is this being captured? I have to... Oh, now it is being captured. Oh, that's okay. That's good. Even if based on proven medical knowledge from 1918, Vampyr sometimes takes liberties when establishing jibbidi-dip-bop-bop-boop. Could have fooled me. Hey. There we go. Vampyr. What a pleasure. Now, if I intentionally did not watch any reviews or let's plays or streams of other people here on Twitch, just so I could go at this with the very authentic first impressions experience and not have anything be tainted by somebody else's opinion or commentary. This is the real deal. Press enter. Take responsibility for your actions. This game uses an autosave system. Does it not have any means of a quick saving or anything? This is already not so great. Can you, my darling, would you please do me a favor and quickly check the audio levels? Just to make sure that everything is in order. Please do not close the game when this icon is displayed. Oh, that's nice. We have a fairly underrated scene of thank you very much, my darling. The music is kind of loud, but I'm louder. So when you consider things like relativity and everything, it probably works out. My throat feels terrible, I have to apologize. We've been sleeping the past nights with the fan on, and maybe that kind of is the explanation for this terrible condition. How do you know that? So this is a beautiful undersaturated scene with fog and shadows and everything. This is like the kind of atmospheric setup that I would like to see in a game such as this. Let us have a brief look at the options here to make sure. I mean, this, if the menu is any kind of indication of how the engine runs, then this is already pretty smooth and I can't really complain. Yeah, that's alright. I don't have like a super big graphics RAM on my GPU, so I leave it at high. I think with the 720p resolution that I'm transmitting here on stream, it's not gonna make much of a noticeable difference between high and ultra. Anyways, ultra. Maybe for the sake of performance we can, although let's see how it runs. We can still turn some of the things down if it doesn't run quite as smooth as we would like it to run. Let's not fuck around here. We really want it to be properly set up with the brightness so it really is dark when it's supposed to be dark. We don't want no nonsense here like ifing around the gamma settings or anything just so we can have a little bit of a gameplay advantage. We want the atmosphere, we want the authentic feel that the game is trying to convey. Okay. Well, yeah, everything seems to be in order so far, so let us have a look here. The more lives you take, the easier the game will be. I'll save my thoughts on that.
For the Red Queen under crown of stone. 8 voracious beasts born from 8 restless nights. 4 nails piercing the flesh of the sinner. 1 prayer for the summoned, called by this song. 'Tis perhaps the countdown to oblivion for the once proud city of London. 'Tis perchance her inhabitants' last dance alone to face death and pestilence. Confronted by the eerie and unknown, mortals became desperate for answers. A flock's flight makes for an omen, the falling of a star a dire presage. Turning to priests for interpretation when there was no reason to be found. When religion failed, men turned to science. I saw them build such vain cities, crafting machines made for endless war. New questions flourished as old answers withered. What is darkness but lurking sun? What is wall but enslaved stone? What is glass but tortured sand? What is song but a call to arms? What is hate but jilted love? What is life but death pending?
Why can't he talk like a fucking normal human being, man? What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
The apple was plucked from the sacred tree. Mortality was believed to be God's punishment. A righteous snare to keep mankind from ascending to the stars. They were all so wrong. Death is not a wicked thing, nor some holy retribution. A true punishment would be to never know its sweet kiss. Awaken from the harshness and be born once more.
I have to complain about the haircut and the beard of this man. Vampires aren't supposed to look like this. I mean, who would wear a beard like this and have a haircut like this? It's completely douchey and unacceptable. It's I'm making a joke. Well, it is quite morbid, it is quite dark, it is quite beautiful considering that it's... The graphics are... they definitely are a bit like they're painted, it's more like a cartoon, not necessarily so much of a realistic representation of reality. Alright, I guess we are hungry, therefore we can see...
So thirsty.
This food source on 2 legs right here. Hey mama. Oh, she knows us.
My sweet brother. What have you done?
Mary! Oh, no. Mary! Hold on. Please, hold on. Oh, God. Oh, no. Mary. This horror. It's a nightmare.
You done killed her.
No! Please, a moment, let me explain! These patrols are after me. No! No! Don't shoot! This is a nightmare. I need to get out of here.
I do appreciate right from the start, you're being exposed to the misery of causing the unintentional death of a loved one. That is good.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? What's all this about?
It sets the tone. Why can I not? Alright, he is must be physically handicapped in some way because he is not capable of climbing barrels that barely go beyond his waist. That is maybe not so realistic. But yeah, we are now faced with unspeakable horror. Not only have we caused the death of a loved one, but also are we being hunted under the threat of losing our own life.
Where'd it go? Now, I can defend myself.
That's funny because he doesn't actually hit the barrels, he pushes through them and then hits empty air. So technically the machete was not necessary to run past these barrels.
But you left me no choice.
Even if he did, I don't think I would have cared particularly much about his well-being. Now my first instinct would always be hide underground, avoid the surface, avoid the light of day. Alright, good night. You will die.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. Embrace your new nature, my friend. For this is your new nature, your new calling. What you were meant to do.
No, please, stop! Who are you? Fuck is fast!
Dodging is pretty unspectacular. I just avoided a hit, a melee hit, but it wasn't exactly like one of these recent Batman games where it's all acrobatics and spectacular animations. It's not quite that.
I mean you no harm. I need help.
Die, you fucking leech!
Please, listen to me. I can't make any sense of this.
Shut up, beast!
Who are you? What is this all about? What in God's...
That'll do the rest of the job.
Just leave me. The sun. It feels like it's burning me to the bone.
So we're talking about a world where vampires exist, and apparently even the most common of peasant or policeman in this case is aware of their existence. Shouldn't he, as a doctor, which I know he is, shouldn't he be like have the most knowledge of your regular everyday professions
I need to find somewhere to hide.
about vampires? So you shouldn't be like, oh, I guess I'm a vampire, so I have to do this and this and that and that. And... Nope, like a fish out of water.
I need to find shelter. Is anybody there? What is this place? The place seems abandoned. I should be safe enough here.
So you say this is now our temporary vampire haven? I would have preferred a castle somewhere in the Carpaths. What do you call those? The Carpathen.
What have you done?
Mary! Mary! Mary, I'm sorry. Whoever did this to us, I will find them.
You did this. And you better get used to this. But yes, of course, somebody turned us, and it's not like we voluntarily agreed to being turned.
I can almost feel the sun's rays like a physical weight pressing against the wood.
My darling. I think it was 2 streams ago you didn't even want to say that you loved me, my darling. And now this? Now you sing odes of a sensitive heart? Why does he look like this? That's weird.
Wait, this one's dressed up fancy. Let's run through his pockets.
Picking the dead's pockets? Are you serious?
I've still a rent to pay. He's got no more responsibilities. What's this? Gold watch.
Beautiful it is. We fancy it in shadow takings. I suppose we are undertakers. Now, give him an Eve.
Fancy clothing, it's like average H&M kind of
That's impossible.
button-down shirt or something, I don't know. Forever 21 or what? But of course he has the fancy hairstyle. I'll try to refrain from using the H word. It's so obvious. They should maybe release some cheap-ass DLCs, like pay 50 cents and you can change the look of your protagonist. So he's not such a H word anymore. So far, I kind of like it. Reminds me a bit of a somewhat more action-oriented, more free-form Telltale kind of game.
Who goes there? Who's there? Are you referring to me? No! No! I still have so much to accomplish.
So much. You're a doctor, you're the bourgeoisie.
That needs doing.
It ain't gonna get better than this. Top of the line. Social status. You even got the pretty boy haircut. What else could you ask for? That was a recent event.
Johnny, this one's lost. We need to leave. And now!
No! There's time. I can save him.
That's the enemy coming! The orders are to evacuate the hospital!
Done. He'll live.
And now what?
We fight. Killing is a hell of a lot easier than healing.
Yeah, he must have killed himself recently.
It never got easy.
No significant rigor mortis noticeable. My diagnosis is cessation of any life signs due to the penetration of the skull with a metal object no larger the size of a nail of a thumb. Suggested therapy is leave him to rot. I feel like there was oh yeah, here we can yeah, there we go. What? Oh, okay. Sometimes you have these activation spots that are not so how shall we say, customer friendly placed, so you might actually miss them. When you get too close to this one, for example, you can't activate, you can't find this diary, and that is like a little bit of a minus point there. 15th October, bad sleep. Becky coughed all night and the fever made her delirious. I heard a loud noise in the morning. It's a big machine some men brought by the banks to dig a big hole in the ground. It was some sort of mechanical shovel. Maybe I could go there and ask for some work. Becky needs medicine. 16th October, I talked to men with the mechanical shovel. They told me they are doing my... It's a bad match. I'm not gonna read all this. How do I scroll down? Looks like I don't. Alright. Poverty, sickness. Everybody's dying. Excellent backdrop for a vampire story. Of course it's cliché, but it's kind of like the good, acceptable kind of cliché. One that has been not enough used recently in computer games, I say that much. We need more of this cliched kind of stuff. It all seems a little painted. It's a bit like the art style they went for with what's it, Dishonored, just slightly. But the lighting and everything is done rather nicely, and they managed to compose everything together in a atmospheric way so far. So even while so far the environments are not breathtakingly gorgeous, we don't get no amazing huge skylines or natural splendor backdrops of that type. So far it's interesting enough, I'll say. So I guess we just explored the whole place. Do we have like a journal or something along those lines to guide us through our quest? Citizens menu. Collectibles. Inventory. Oh, see, there we go. Power and mesmerize level. So there seems to be some sort of discipline skill tree that is slightly reminiscent of the Vampire the Masquerade. But what, my darling? Oh, Jesus Christ, please. Please, do not interrupt the excitement I feel for this very game here. Yeah, first look does not exactly overburden us with incomprehensible diagrams or lists of certain attributes and disciplines, but oh, there we go. Things can be more specialized. Good. There's a map. Where are we? And how do we move around on the map? Alright. We don't currently have a quest. Citizen menu, I guess we can investigate, research the people in our environment. Alright. No investigations, no quests. We are still just in a free-form exploration stage. The game is entirely satisfied with moderate setups. My computer, as I said, is not a super high-end gaming rig. And it still runs very smoothly with almost all the graphics settings set to Ultra. That's great. Also, not to mention that this game has just been recently released, so there might still be some patches in the
sun is high. I cannot leave now.
Future that might improve performance even further. For looking pretty nice, this is very moderate resource consumption. Utilization. I guess we're supposed to wait out the night. Oh, there we go. On the bed.
This makes no sense. None of it. No sense at all. It's a nightmare. That's it. So be it.
That won't do much.
Rational thinking only.
Okay. Nice, nice. That Y still kind of bothers me, but I tend to be forgiving.
This is absolute madness. I've lost touch with the real.
Madness it is, as mad as the moon, who tames blinding sunlight into a glowing flesh.
Autophagy. If my knowledge of Latin does not betray me, does this not kind of translate into him eating himself? Self-fellatio. Or something. The vampire uses the power of his blood to heal normal and aggravated damage, increasing his flesh, nerve, and bone regeneration. With time, this vampiric ability can be extremely powerful and is sure to surprise any unwary vampire hunter. We think of vampires as immortal, but if you can block their natural regenerative capabilities, they are more vulnerable than you think. So we must first learn it, and then make sure to not have it be blocked. You gotta keep the button pressed till the bar is full. That's like the safety mechanism. Okay. One aggressive skill. Shadow Mist. Now, regarding classic Gothic horror vampire literature, turning into shadows is one of the higher vampiristic disciplines. That's not something that a low-level vampire is supposed to be capable of, but this is, of course, its own lore and its own universe, so let's just go with it. Claws, it's like for the brainless brawler. Blood Spear is for the, I guess, for the sniper vampire. But I will go with the beast hiding in the shadows. There's more my thing. The vampire concentrates shadows around their prey to make them explode. Oh, wait a minute. I was wrong. This explosion will injure anything in range. Oh my goodness. Now you even start mutilating yourself just for a few moments of attention? feel so sorry for you, my darling. You must be so desperate. You were just screaming in agony from your autophagy. Never mind, my darling. So this is not turning into a shadow, but it is utilizing the shadows as a offensive area of effect kind of weapon, I guess. I don't know if I want that. No, it's the most interesting of the ones they have here, so I'll use that one. It's like creating shadow mines out of shadows. Alright. Let's be creative.
That voice in my head. If I'm not mad, then it must belong to the one who made me what I am. I must find him to understand what I have become.
You're a doctor, you know what's up. But yeah, now we have a marker on the compass on top, so that means we are now officially been given our first quest. Mission. What do they call it? Main quest. Separate from quests are investigations.
These people want me dead. I need to leave now.
Good boy. You just spent the entire day there and they still haven't managed to break into the house. Aren't we lucky? Stop saying leech, that's so demeaning. Oh, okay. As a standard ability, we don't have to learn. That's cool.
Come out, you coward!
It's locked.
I'm not afraid to fight them. The stake. That'll probably come in handy when we have to face other vampires in combat, if that ever occurs in the game. I do not know.
I'm still in Southwark. I must reach the West End. Go back home.
Alright, here we go with an impression of the city. And it's dark and it's shadows and lights in the distance.
Die, vermin!
That's right.
A strength I never knew I had.
Okay, that's kind of fun. Easy combat system, but rewarding in its effect. Well, maybe it's too easy, that'll get boring pretty quickly, we'll have to see about that, but as a first attempt, it's fun. Oh, I see.
Every fiber of my being is a fire.
I would like to bite this man, but I guess I can't.
Learning the limits of my body.
Huh. Alright. Oh, who are you? Holy shit! Holy f... Alright. So we resurrect in our sanctuary, our haven. Of course, it would be nicer if that was represented by a coffin. You rising from a coffin, but minor complaints.
It ain't you, man.
That's right.
Every sinew, every fiber of my being is afire.
That's awesome, buddy.
All of your bloody leeches need killing.
Yes. Aye. Shotgun is not good for the vampire. Got him.
My reflexes. I'm not human anymore.
So I guess that was a sort of professional vampire hunter here. Alright. Aluminium powder. Thanks for spelling it the correct way. Spots that you can mist shape onto sort of are marked. Jesus Christ. So okay, that is confirmation that when some unwanted notification of a different program pops up, the game pauses automatically and you can alt-tab back in without problems. That was awesome. Good job, guys. A physics system does exist, but doesn't necessarily always react with your collisions of your character. So it's good, but could be better. Contagious disease. One shall enter or leave quarantine area without written of the local health authority. Written order, I guess. An authorized employee of the shall alter, destroy, or remove this card. Violating this regulation will be fined. Join the British ranks and help the brave lads at the front. Nah, I don't think so.
My poor sister. If only I had controlled my need for blood. Mary, someone will pay for what happened to you. For what happened to us.
He could have just tried to turn her. Rats. Not if I have to. I mean, not if I don't have to. No, I like it. Graphics could be obviously like could be a few years old. I guess if this game was released somewhere in 2014-15, it would have been more impressive. But now if we talk about the art direction and not so much of the technical finesse, it does create a decent atmosphere, I feel. I wanna explore. I wanna find out what's going on in this city.
It's locked, all right. I cannot enter.
Some objects, some obstacles are indestructible, while they are made of the same materials that others are as well that are destructible, so that's... Can we do the F thing? Yes. Alright.
The dizziness from the jump. I can now control it.
Nice.
It's locked.
I'm wondering if there's gonna be some kind of what is it, like the Batman thing where you can press, I guess, the right mouse button and you enter like observation mode, where interactive items are somehow displayed differently, so you can actually know what in your vicinity is something you can interact with. I kind of feel like they're gonna put something in this in here. Click the right mouse button and all of a sudden things begin to glow and glimmer.
What will London have to say to me? I've so many questions unanswered.
Now this is nice here with the little lighting effects here, the shadows on the character. It can look pretty good. Nothing too amazing, but does the job.
Another corpse. Have the very streets of London become a mausoleum? The man has been drained of all blood, but I can still smell the scent of it.
Does that mean there is another vampire close by?
I follow the scent's trail. Perhaps it will lead me to my assailant.
Is he the one who turned us? There you go. Vampiric senses.
Blood. The smell is so strong.
Alright. Now if this only shows us blood, that's something else, then I will accept that. But it is kind of like the Batman detective sense.
Something dire must have come about.
So predictable. Is this where we came from?
It's locked, all right.
It's not where we're going to in any case. What the hell, my darling? What are you doing there? Stop mutilating yourself.
Where has everyone gone?
Killer's trail. Oh I'm sorry.
Thirst for blood.
I thought it was just a little splash of blood on the ground. God damn it. New hideout. Here? I didn't notice no hideout. Should be this building here, I guess. But we can't enter. I like this. You can kind of see the interior through this unevenly formed glass. Scattering effects. That looks pretty nice. Up there.
According to the blood patterns, that's where the victim was attacked. So that must be the killer's trail.
There we go. New hideout. Workbench. Can we craft our own dental prosthetics? Teeth that drill. Oh, we can refill our stuff. Ammo. Medical treatments to heal sick citizens. Serums to boost yourself. Weapon upgrades. Fatigue, anemia, sepsis. And we don't have any, not a single one of the required ingredients. Right, we can't upgrade anything yet, but it's good to know how it works once we have the required items. Oh, recycling. I guess this is one means to acquire basic resources for upgrading your weapons. A bottle of alcohol, recycle it into a glass vial and ferrous tartrate. Wait. Also, a watch will give us 3 units of grease. I don't understand. We have 500 XP. Ooh. Ultimate abilities: Rage, Abyss, Blood Cauldron. Focus your power to boil your target's blood, causing it to violently explode. That sounds good. Supernatural move to your target, cause damage upon landing. Shadow Veil. Drain your stamina to fade into the shadows and become invisible to most enemies. Moving in this state will drain more stamina. I like that one. Defensive abilities. Yeah, we need to be a higher level to unlock any of these things, except for the body things, physical prowess and body condition, and blood. But yeah, this seems like just stuff to just increase your stats, just to make combat a little easier. So far, I don't feel that it's necessary to waste your points on that stuff. But good. Learning our way around this game. Some gun upgrade items. Wait, if we go into a very dark area, will the vampire sense actually make it? No, it won't. Not really. I thought vampires can see in the dark though. I mean, I know as a Doctor of Vampirism, I know that vampires are supposed to be able to see in the dark.
That's strange. The trail is very erratic, as if the killer was drunk or hesitant.
There's a person! Oh, that's interesting. With the vampire mode activated, you can see the people in the vicinity. I guess once you upgrade certain abilities, you can get immediate information about their personas, attributes. But alright, there's people here.
Last, a little life.
Hi guys! Hi guys! Hi guys! Hi guys!
Welcome, sir, to the Turquoise Turk.
Good evening, sir. I wondered if I could ask for your help.
Wow, you look like you need a drink.
Yes. I apologize for my outfit. It's been a long night.
Been there, seen that. Don't worry, things can only get worse.
Let's keep it casual at first. What is going on around here?
What's going on around here? It's like everybody is hiding.
You must be new here. Have you not heard about the murders? Everybody fears the return of the sewer dog.
Who is this sewer dog?
Who is this sewer dog?
It's the local bogeyman. Convenient answer for every crime that happened for decades. You murdered someone, blame the sewer dog, eh?
Sounds like a Nosferatu. Oh, that's nice, by the way, that he says the things himself audibly, so I don't have to read all the shit.
You make it sound like it's a fairy tale.
People will always believe in monsters. It's easier than accepting their own darkness. We can all be monsters.
Has anybody entered the bar recently?
Can't say. Sorry. I spent the night making love to that gorgeous bottle, see?
This is important, sir. Are you sure no one has come in here in the last few hours?
I don't know and I don't care. This is a free country. People still have the right to come and go, don't they?
Suspicious.
I'll leave you to your bottle then.
Yeah, continue making love.
My God, sir, you look like Jonah's whale just spat you out of hell. Can I get you a drink?
No, thank you. I'm not thirsty.
Well, grab a chair and get some rest. This is going to be another long night.
Why is it going to be a long night?
You must be new around here. Don't you know about the murders?
Do the police have any leads on a suspect?
Even before the outbreak, coppers never came round here. We're on our own. People die in these parts all the time, and no one cares.
You have to appreciate the fact that he is covered by a wooden pole. Okay, guy. I guess you take your anonymity very seriously. Anonymity.
Tell me more about these murders.
Every morning for the last few weeks, bodies have been found. And those poor sods didn't die of flu.
That's very suspicious.
Where am I? Where is this place?
You're at my bar, sir, the Turquoise Turtle. The last ray of light in this dangerous part of town.
Aren't you scared?
Aren't you scared?
Scared of what? All the bad shit happens out on the foggy streets. And I never go outside.
So you're open all night?
Yep. Figured people might need a place to rest in these dark times.
I'm looking for someone who might have passed through here recently. Wondered if you might help.
It's been quiet tonight. The only other person I've seen went straight up to his room. Thought it was kind of rude, actually.
You mean he's still here?
Well, yeah. He paid for the entire week.
How long has he been here?
He rented the room a few days ago and didn't say when he'd leave.
Who is this man? What does he look like?
Well, like a gentleman, I guess. Well-dressed, quite polite. A professor or something fancy like that. Always writing, reading notes.
I need to meet this man. I have questions.
Just climb the stairs and knock on the first door. I heard him open his window, so I guess he's still awake. And,
Yes?
no funny business. You hear me? This is a respectable establishment.
Do I look funny to you?
I didn't deserve this.
Hello, sir. Are you all right? Is there any way I can help you?
I don't know. Maybe you could just talk to me.
Maybe you prefer to speak with Tom, then. He's more agreeable talking to strangers.
What's going on around here? Where is everyone?
Too many dead, sir. First the epidemic, and now all these terrible murders.
The murders. What can you say about them?
Bodies found in the streets every morning. Drained of blood. It's just horrible. Some say the sewer dog is back.
The sewer dog? What's that?
No one knows. People have always disappeared around these parts. The ancients say it's the sewer dog coming out to feed. But now he's killing in the streets.
We know all about it. The sewer dog is a Nosferatu vampire, residing in the catacombs of the city.
What have you heard about the epidemic?
It's a Spanish flu. Yeah. Killed so many last summer. Thought we'd seen the last of it. Dozens dying every week.
Are the authorities doing anything?
Nothing. There are so many quarantine zones in London now. It's gotten really hard to travel across town.
What is this place?
This is Tom's bar, a turquoise turtle. I'm the barmaid here, Sabrina, if you want to know.
Are you always open this late at night?
No, it's only since the epidemic started. Tom thought that people may need a safe place to stay.
You don't seem to have much business. Where is everybody?
Well, most people are sleeping right now. And those that are awake tend to avoid going out. What with the murders and all.
I just want to talk. I didn't mean to scare you.
I'm not afraid, sir. It's just I've other customers to take care of.
I only see one customer.
Oh. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I best check on them.
I'll leave then. Thank you.
I don't know why she doesn't like me. Maybe it's the blood on my shirt, but it's barely visible, isn't it? I look like a perfectly respectable gentleman in my own honest opinion.
This is no place for you. Prewen has several patrols roaming the area.
They do not pursue me.
But they're looking for vampires, and they're most efficient.
They'll not relent until the killer has been identified.
I have a common objective, but I require...
I think someone is eavesdropping.
Are you certain? You might as well come in, whoever you are.
Slowly, vampire. Who are you? I mean, you know. Say it, the vampire.
I'm sorry.
I need.
That was the wrong button. I apologize.
Anyone.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, that's something I can do for you.
What? He does not want to kill us immediately? But then yes, the lady he was speaking to was a vampire herself, so he must, despite not being a vampire, still be, friendly? What is Hesdale?
And who might you be?
I'm not sure that I know anymore.
Might I at least learn the reason of your presence?
That's none of your concern.
Sir, you have entered my room in the middle of the night, pale as a corpse and shaking like a tree. So please, indulge me.
Someone is molesting people. In fact, killing them. Biting them.
The calling card of a vampire. Like you.
You seem the expert. How would that be?
I have my secrets, as you have yours.
Then if you are not a vampire, who or what are you?
Dr. Edgar Swansea of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. I am performing an independent investigation here in an attempt to understand precisely what is going on.
He's a friendlier version of Grünfeldbach, I assume? Grünfeldbach.
And what exactly is this Brotherhood?
Sir, if the name is not familiar to you, then we shall discuss it another time.
Why all the secrecy?
What have you uncovered concerning the murders?
It started a few nights ago. Rumors of violent murders. The docks have always been, shall we say, somewhat unsavory. but this is different.
How different?
A vampire is at work here. Famished. Reckless. It must be brought to ground, and quickly.
I heard another voice, that of a woman. Who were you talking to?
Ridiculous. I've no idea what you're talking about.
Something tells me not to trust you.
Then the feeling is mutual.
Something tells me. So I guess 6,000 XP is good blood quality, I guess? We don't know nothing about him. I guess this is how much we need in a certain particular skill or discipline to gain mind control over him, I would guess. His health condition is visible to us. He does not have any illnesses that we could contract by drinking from him, to put it like that. But there is no more specific knowledge we have gathered at this point. Right.
Then help me find the culprit.
I may. If you'll first tell me why you opened this door.
I followed a trail. The scent of blood from a recent victim. It led me here.
You thought I was your aggressor. That explains a great deal. We're both chasing the same shadow.
A shadow, indeed. Yet I heard his voice in my head. There was a moment I believed I was mad.
You should let me handle this affair. You've no idea what you're up against.
No. I will find the monster. He is mine.
How will you do any better than I? But then let me ask you this. What are your
Because I'm a
intentions to find
vampire.
the killer?
I will at last have the answers to my questions.
Then I can only wish you good hunting. And pray we shall meet again.
He probably would have liked me to say I just want to kill him, but I feel that he is worthy of my honesty. He's probably like one of the most important characters here on our path to realizing our full selves. Just my assumption. Show me the lady. Oh, she left through here, I guess. Where's the vampire lady? Lady in red. She's dancing.
I cannot
with
enter.
me.
If Swansea is not my attacker, it means somebody else came here tonight. Someone must know something.
Jack, you didn't deserve this.
It's him.
Hello, sir. May I disturb you again?
And you're still ugly as sin.
Fuck you, buddy. My hair looks way cooler than yours.
I'll leave you to your bottle then.
Are they stupid or something? I've never even been to India. Evening, sir. Can I help you?
I have a few questions for you.
Well, if you must.
You cannot handle the...
I spoke to Dr. Swansea. He's not the man I'm looking for. Now, I want the truth.
The truth? What do you mean?
I suspect that someone else was here tonight, and I don't think Tom wants to tell me about it.
I'm just the barmaid here, okay? If Tom says you're the only visitor we had, then you're the only visitor we had.
I can feel your fear, madam. Please tell me what's going on.
It's Will. William Bishop. He came in here earlier tonight and he... Well, I thought he was going to clock someone.
Her iron will can never be broken.
Why are you so afraid?
I mean, his skin, his hands. I scrubbed every glass and every chair that he touched. God, I hope it's not contagious.
I wish there was some other means to activate the dialogue options, instead of always having to grab the mouse.
What happened tonight?
He was dead drunk as usual. But my God, his eyes, his face. He must have caught something awful. He shouted and cried. It was terrible.
Tell me about this William Bishop.
Will was a sailor who worked at the canning factory before he lost that job. A nice bloke, really. He's never been violent. Until tonight.
Why keep it a secret? Why not tell me about it?
Tom's nothing if not loyal. After Will lost his job, he offered him one ear. They used to be good mates. But recently, well, Will started to get very aggressive.
I see. Thank you for your candor. I'll be sure to talk to Tom.
Citizen hints. It reveals a secret about a citizen or someone related to them. As a vampire, you need human blood to evolve. The blood quality bar indicates the XP you will earn if you feed on this citizen. Unlocked hints increase the amount of XP. That is something I have never read in this book. Or in this book. I contest this concept as being unrealistic. Now that's actually kind of interesting. It's a bit like Sherlock Holmes Light, right? The Sherlock Holmes games from Frogware, I believe, develops them. I do enjoy those quite a lot. Tom and William Bishop used to be good friends, is one of the unlocked hints. 1 out of a total of 5. Alright. Is that this, what's his name? I forgot. He's Tom and his friend is William Bishop. This might be William Bishop right here, since we know his location. If I don't misread this right now.
Welcome back. Did you find what you were after?
I can't say I have. Are you sure no one else came into your bar before I arrived?
Hey, I told you, you were the only other stranger I'd had.
Talk to me about William.
Tom, talk to me about the visit from your old friend, William.
Yes, Will came by tonight, but he's not my friend anymore.
Guess we just used some special vampire ability. Why lie to me?
Why lie to me if he is not your friend?
I didn't lie. I said you were my only unannounced customer, and that's the truth.
Unannounced. A liar.
Who is he?
William. Just an old sailor who loves his gin too much. He worked for years at the canning factory before it closed.
How was he?
How was he tonight? Was he different?
Sicker than usual, perhaps. He whined and mumbled about how mean people were to him and how he'd like to talk to me outside, and then he left when I refused.
Is he dangerous?
Yeah. Like many drunks, he's all bark and no bite. Can barely stand up most of the time.
I can stand.
I need to find him. It's a matter of urgency. Do you know where he is?
You could try his boat. It's up by the North Pier. He sleeps there when he's too drunk to get home.
Please describe him to me.
What do you expect? He's a tall, sick bastard with a bad rash and torn old clothes. William used to be strong. Now he's a mess.
Thank you, Tom.
If you see him, tell him I don't want him back here unless he cleans up his act, okay?
Well done. I'm your man, friend. I shall do your bidding.
It's locked, all right.
Inspect the boats.
I will get to the bottom of this intrigue. What's been done to me, to this city?
He is sort of like the representation of London, right? Ravaged and turned into an uglier, deadlier version of itself.
Hello, sir. May I disturb you again?
And you're still ugly as sin.
I'll leave you to your bottle then.
I wonder if there are any non-conversation means of unlocking hints about characters. Wait, where is that? There we go. Citizen menu. He is fatigued. I can appreciate the blood quality of a potential victim increasing by uncovering secret character traits. As a game mechanic, that is a pretty decent incentive to learn more about people, if your curiosity isn't enough. But unfortunately, just from a logical standpoint, it doesn't make too much sense. That's a shame. That's a bummer. Minor complaints. Minor complaints.
The body is still warm. This man has just been drained of blood. This man was armed. He tried to defend himself.
That looks like last millennia kind of graphics there. Oh my goodness.
This corpse has been dried of its blood, just like the previous victim. What's this? Some sort of note.
Could you sing a little louder? My microphone isn't picking up your beautiful song, my darling. She's intentionally being very quiet, so only I can hear it. She likes to play those games ever since she's been demonically possessed. Warning! According to recent reports, this vampire is very violent. Approach with extreme caution. I know we lack men in this part of town, but don't send rookies to investigate the case. If I'm correct, we've got a frenzied one killing each night. As always, search abandoned places first, like old houses, basements, sewers, or warehouses. Destroy the Leech, brothers. Now these are kind of like the Grünfeldbachs of this game here. The Society of Leopold, I believe, is what the vampire hunters are called in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. So it's probably William Bishop, I would guess, is the...
These men, they're a company of professional vampire hunters. Blood and empty gin bottles. This Bishop fellow is something of a heavy drinker.
So, yeah. He is a frenzied vampire, but that kind of seems like his behavior is mostly irrational, so he would not really have any reason to turn somebody. So he cannot be our sire, I'm pretty certain of that.
There are blood splats on the other side of the canal. I must reach that barge.
My daddy. Yes, that's exactly the story of the game. We have to find out who our daddy is. This game is called Vampyr. Who's your daddy? Who's your... I should say Vampyr. Vampyr. Well, if you want to translate that to German, you'd have to translate Daddy into Papa. Wer ist dein Papa? Papi. You silly little thing, you. Oh no. Can we sneak? I would like it to sneak. Guess not. Hey buddy, are you William? Can't we just talk, my friend? Now, if it was, that was significantly easy. Now, that was probably one of the members of the hunters here, the Leopold. What are they? I don't even remember what they're called in this game, this order. I'm just thinking Vampire the Masquerade all the time here. It's a curse. Equip and press the right mouse button to use your ranged weapons and inflict both standard damage and stun damage.
Ammunition crate. Good. I need a lot of bullets. I feel like I'm back on the front line again.
I don't, what? Can't I just drag and drop? I don't know how to use the pistol. Didn't it just say to hold the right mouse button? Where did I go wrong? If only there were people watching, then they could tell me in the chat. Oh, if only. If only I had the congregation rushing to help me in my times of confusion. Press V to spot enemies. Enemy cards. Some enemies are more resistant to certain types of damage. Orange indicates medium, red indicates high resistance. Medium melee, high ranged. Completely irresistible, no wait. Completely not resistant to blood and shadow powers. Alright. That's the Priven, that's what they're called. The Society of Vampire Hunters. Priven Brawler. Hey, buddy. God. Yeah, I was just thinking sometimes he doesn't aim at the enemies, but then there's this locking functionality. You just press Control and then you lock on your enemies, I guess. I need to remember to utilize that. Is a gunner. Let's just quickly go back here to make sure I don't miss anything important. Yeah, I had the feeling there might be some more to this location.
I cannot enter.
Best stay back, sir.
What? Oh wow, he oh
Did you hear me?
He got some fire. But he is vulnerable to melee attacks, so I think we can handle this dude.
Over there! There's one of them vermin!
There we go. That's nice. Very nice. For me personally, so far, I will say that the key to being successful in combat is to resist the urge to just click, 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 without any real attention to what's actually happening. Combat is responsive, combat can be well timed. So try to be precise with your attacks and dodges.
We won't see any of these bastards back here again.
How many are there? 1, 2, 3. What the f... Jesus, no! Why do they burn people? Holy Mosey. Bony doses. There we go. Ah, shit. So, unfortunately, this shadow form that you can use when you duck is not immaterial, so you cannot duck through opponents. You have to consider that you can't just teleport your way behind them and then attack from behind them. That doesn't work. Maybe that would be a bit too easy. Lupara? The fuck? Damn. Short range defensive weapon, but look at that damage. I assume that's quite a lot. If we compare this to the revolver, it's like, well, not quite 3 times, but more than twice as much damage. A lot more than twice as much. No, it is actually... it is pretty much 3 times the damage. Jesus Christ. Good. But I guess I still don't really understand how we can equip those firearms. By holding right mouse button pressed, you're supposed to be able to aim. But in order to be able to do that, you probably have to equip one of your firearms. I don't know how to do that. Use revolver. Does not grant me the ability to interact with it in any way except for upgrading options. Please help me. I somehow missed this part. F1 does not display a general help or a manual of sorts. That would have been nice. Oh, he disgusts me. Stop calling me it. I'm a human. I mean, almost. Damn, he ducked pretty quickly too. Alright. Now really, I will say that the combat system actually, it's not the most, at least so far, it's not the most elaborate kind of game mechanic, but it's quick, it's responsive, it's immediate. I can't complain. I enjoy it. Some bullets, but how do I? I mean, right now I'm just randomly pressing buttons to figure out any means of interaction regarding firearms. I guess I must have just missed that. Although so far we've been doing pretty well without using the pew-pew. And I'll be honest, I don't even like firearms that much. When you have all these vampiric supernatural abilities, so I might actually refrain from using them altogether throughout the entire game, but we'll see. Maybe that won't be a truly viable option. I'm sorry.
This is despicable.
It is, but I guess that's also another means to gaining blood experience points.
Thirst for blood.
Let's have a look. Top right corner it says 785. Now if we eat a rat, will it rise? It won't. I killed all these rats for nothing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, they run around spreading the plague, making it so much easier for me to move freely and unsuspected among mountains and hordes of dead people. We really need to thank these little critters for making life so much easier for us. Alright. Shillings. 1 to be exact. Yeah, he just gave us 5 experience points. So
it's locked, all right.
Seems like it might be a bit of a slow process to gain enough to make significant progress with your character. Alright. Moving on. I like it. All the mist and all, and the lights shining through the fog and all that. Sometimes you don't need the most splendid amount of, I don't know, polygons and highest resolution textures if you know how to use what you have at your disposal and use it efficiently. And I think they've done a fairly well job here in this game with doing just that. It's all about the atmosphere.
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
Alright, that might be his lip. Oh my god, William, please not again. It's just one more sip, blah blah. What the hell is going on here? William is feeding on somebody but keeping them alive at the same time. What a most horrible ordeal for any type of sentient being. Is that his victim?
I can never harm you, Mr. Hunting. You're my...
Heavy weapon.
Give me permission to leave.
betray your trust?
It's this first, you see. I need a drink. I'm so thirsty.
Bear with me, William. As one, we shall overcome this. We've done it before.
No. I had a drink outside tonight already and it did not quench my thirst. I must have more.
Oh, dear God. Not again. William, please stop.
Just a sip, I promise. You are my dearest friend. You're my
Jesus Christ.
dearest friend.
He's gonna kill him without meaning to.
This place reeks of bloodshed.
We must stop him. Oh my goodness.
Let go of me.
Look at the low polygon models right here. It is a horror.
I can't stand it anymore.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
Isn't there other ways maybe? Holy. Yep. Nice. Good man.
Please, stop.
He's delirious.
William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
We knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Oh, that's the lady, I assume.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by skull?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
Yeah, you just stabbed him from behind once, but I actually fought him one-on-one when he was at full potential. Like, big fucking deal, lady.
You've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed this drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
But why? I mean, at this point we're not even... we don't even have any reason to believe that William is connected to our own vampiric state at all.
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire?
It's just what
I
I
must
said.
find a place to analyze the blood.
A blood sample of him, the skull. Whatever that means. Frenzied vampires. Thin bloods. Yeah. Some of that sweet, sweet dinero.
Where are we headed? We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back. But I will tell you, she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous. I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again, from a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
And for that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
That's pretty cute. I like it. Pembroke! Oh my goodness. I believe that used to be an asylum for the insane, didn't
I
it?
was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
It's really cute. I like it. It's like this very there's like this very simple formula that at least I personally always appreciated about Vampire Bloodlines, and that is the fact that 1, it's always dark because it always plays at night, you don't see the sun. 2, it's there's a lot of fog and you can't see very far because everything is kind of in the distance, everything is kind of covered in a mist. And 3, there is light shining through the mist, giving you an idea of what might be in the distance, but you just don't know until you go there. And that is something this game does as well, and it's nice. What?
Nah, it's my turn.
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
What? But I don't want to lose my humanity points.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Yeah, so I need to learn more about this person in order to get the maximum out of his blood. I don't know if that makes sense, but alright. So what that means is you first have to be nice and inquisitive and interested in the people you talk to until you bite them and drink all the blood. Please, continue singing, my darling. Alright. I don't want to drink his blood, let me save him. Jesus Christ, this is like a... This is like playing Larry Leffer, but you don't get no choice in anything, you just have to try to stick your dick in everything that... I apologize. But wouldn't it be nicer if you could be a more mischievous kind of vampire that doesn't just blatantly always takes every little chance at every little piece of dirt he finds on the wayside, just sticking his teeth wherever he finds a target. Let's be connoisseurs. Let us try to only drink the finest of blood. Let us take our time and enjoy and savor the hunt of the most prestigious of prey. The blood that is the most rewarding is what we're after. We don't want none of this raffle. Let him survive. Maybe one day he'll be a more refined person against the odds, and then we can finally savor him like a wine that has rested for some decades to fully unfold its potential. But no, instead you just bite it all and drink it all and rats. Just drink all the rats. Okay, sorry for this. You drink the blood of your prey. You first need to mesmerize them to lead them out of sight from others. Your mesmerize level must be equal or higher than the citizen's resistance. Press Q to memorize... mesmerize clay. It put me in pause mode because I've been wasting too much time here. Okay, my mesmerize level is 1. His is 1. Will this be a mini game? Yes, this will most likely be. No? Not a mini game?
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
Into the shadows. Well, this is kind of cool. It pulsates into certain directions of where the absence of light is the greatest. Embracing clay will provide a massive XP boost, but be aware there will be consequences. Thank you for giving me the option.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
I thoroughly appreciate that. That is great, that you can actually refuse. I appreciate that. Hey buddy, how does it feel being alive still?
What happened?
He doesn't even want to go to a hospital anymore. His guts are probably still hanging out of his belly, and there's like intestines and whatnot everywhere and blood spurting. But maybe not all that bad. Tiny common handle. I think by now we probably have enough items to upgrade our, or at least one of our ranged weapons.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
If only I knew how to equip the ranged weapons. We'll figure it out sooner or later, I'm sure of it. Kali Cox, that's the dude under the, like, underneath.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised. But I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
I'm sorry.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
How do we beat an invisible killer contrary to all the other diseases that you can see? Come on, man. Don't give up.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Speak up!
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Such a polite lady she is.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Dr. Tippett. Hint required, I guess just that then. We cannot mesmerize her.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Oh, that's an option we have with every person we are talking to, I guess.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
We are a renowned surgeon after all. So let us attempt to talk to this ruffian from downstairs and see if we can do something about his health condition.
What happened?
I feel giddy. Well, we can't have proper dialogue with him no more. So let's hope he survives, because we don't just kill for nothing. Only the finest prey.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
Thank you.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in.
How does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
It's so admirable how they all still regain their composure after being exposed to such an epidemic. It's very British of them. The whole staff. Is good.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Oh, I guess we already... It's the same one from earlier.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
She's running from bed to bed, looking at the patients. Is that some form of therapy? Hello. I'm an internationally renowned surgeon, but I can't do anything to help you, I'm sorry. But I can take things out of this little shelf here. Goodbye, you might die, but I found a glass vial. Influenza? Is that like a euphemism for the plague? Although I believe back at that era, people actually used to die in quite large amounts from a simple influenza.
If only there were more of us, with less resignation and more determination.
I know I can count on you. I wish I could say the same for the others.
You look exhausted. You're pushing yourself too hard. You don't have to bear the burdens of this hospital alone.
Can you see the sparks flying? This has the potential for a beautiful romance, does it not?
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
That's me.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
Well, hope is my middle name. Here I am. Let me give you it.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
You've nothing to prove, Dr. Tippett, to anybody. And we all praise your experience. Please, have some rest.
I am perfectly fine, and I am not too old for this job.
God damn it. Alright. I guess he'll at some point just collapse under the stress and the burden of this position he put himself in.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
Her
I'll go even
skills.
further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Oh, that's how he rolls. If only she was a man. God damn it. Not judging, just noticing.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
So that was just one character, but so much to learn and so much to understand, and it's nice that they fleshed out also the somewhat minor characters like the nurse. Getting you intrigued, what are they about, who are they really, do they have secrets? Is there more to them than meets the eye? All these things. You have secrets, my darling? I mean, we've been married for close to 4 years now. You should still have some secrets left over. At least until we get to the 7th year. That ever-cursed 7th year. Yes, of course I have plenty secrets. I won't tell you them because I want them to remain secrets.
And I thought last summer's epidemic was different.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Oh, he's a trader. There you go.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm fine, Doc. Physically, at least. But I would give everything to be in a better place right now.
My darling, what'd you say?
'Cause 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 '
You mean the old one? So the air inside doesn't build up, giving breeding grounds for unwanted bacteria, my darling. I don't know. Did you just take out some ice? Sounded like some ice dropping or something, huh? You just did stuff in the kitchen, so you better get there and check out that nothing is wrong. Because that noise was certainly reasons for concern. We might have a big electrical surge soon because of something you did, and then everything is gonna start burning and we all die. Who knows, maybe? Maybe we all die soon because of you? No, I'm just saying that you should probably check to make sure that we will not die. No, I'm not lying, I'm over-dramatizing. I want to check out this trader here.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed.
Yes, I think so.
A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Yes, see what made the noise, or at least make sure that nothing bad is going on there. So this is the stuff I can buy from Mr. Milton, our newfound friend. Milton does like to speak bluntly, and I appreciate that. He's my bro, is what I'm trying to say, yo. Knows what's up.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
There's nothing in the fridge that dropped anything. The plugs are alright. Nothing on the ground. Well then, don't worry about it. Then everything's alright, right? If you don't see anything that's a cause for concern, then just come here.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is alright? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
I don't doubt that, Milton.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I'll bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently.
No.
What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Jesus Christ. My darling, don't worry about it. Yeah, just... if you don't see anything... I'm playing a game. I'm doing a stream. Please, no, you didn't see anything suspicious, so just move your ass back to your chair, man. Woman. Then go to sleep, woman.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Oh, Jesus. You're selling them to the gangbangers. Milton. Stop believing your own bullshit. Yeah, alright, asshole, I guess.
Goodbye, Milton.
Interesting character, though. Now he was talking about some. He was talking about some patient, ill patient. He dropped off at the entrance of some hospital, a different hospital. If I didn't get that wrong. So we should probably take care of that. Must be a mission we should solve. Is she a patient? It must be some of these are these patients. I mean, there right in front of us is one patient that does not count as a fully interactable character. He doesn't have a personality, but he is a person, I guess. But some of them inside we can interact with. They have their own character cards. My darling, what are you saying? Ooh, who do we have here?
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Yep, lots of almost living guinea pigs around there.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal...
What are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
This is awesome. I like this.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
I know exactly what she's talking about.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Cotard's syndrome?
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I want to turn her. As soon as I figure out how to turn a person into a vampire, I want to turn this woman. She is awesome.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is the only drug I need.
This is great.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I wouldn't have guessed. Oh, is this all?
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy.
They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me, for I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal, but do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
New investigation. Wow, there is something going on with her. I knew it right away. There's more than meets the eye. That's for sure.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
I wish I could be sick again. Feel my blood
Mistress of the Dark.
I have wasted too much energy for so little result.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Looks like we can mesmerize him. Although I am not sure if that will grant us any other benefits than just being able to use him as a source of nourishment. Worth a try, though. Alright, we could drink him here, but this is misleading, because embrace does not usually mean in the vampire canon that you just use them as food. It means that you turn them. Either way, I don't want to do any of those things, so let us let him be about his way. You do what you have to. 2 small bows. My darling, you must go. Where do you have to go? To the bed? Upstairs? There's just our neighbors upstairs, my darling. I don't think they will grant you entrance into their personal domains.
They belong to you now.
The life running in your veins. This dead flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave.
This is awesome. Thelma Howcroft is her name, right?
Time has lost its effect on me, but the suffering continues.
She is among the list of my favorite NPCs in current games that I've played, that's for sure.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
But what about, what's his name? Wilfried? Something Bishop? Yes. Your presence in William Bishop's den.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
So there is no amnesia, I guess. He is aware of the whole vampirism thing.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
What was he? There was this term they used for describing the bloodlusting frenzied vampires that aren't full vampires. Maybe she's in the process of turning into that herself?
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle?
Scowl?
I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Check out the eyes. He is actually looking at us right now. Even when he moves his head around and whatnot, he is still focusing his eyes on our character, looking straight at him. That is something that so many games, even really great and recent games, get wrong. I've recently been playing, what is it? The crowd-funded medieval game Kingdom Come Deliverance, right? It's such a beautiful game, but when you look at the faces of people, their eyes are just like painted on. They don't move, they do nothing, they move their heads and the eyes move with the heads and nothing happens. They don't even look at things. It's almost like they're blind or their eyes are just painted on. It's terrible. It makes NPCs look so lifeless and so robotic. And while this is of course not like the most amazing state-of-the-art graphics or anything, but it's still... It makes him seem like he's actually looking at me, thinking, contemplating. Now he's looking away. He has gestures, he has... It's like a living person. It's good. It's good stuff.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
My wife just asked, is this worth 60 euros? I think I bought it for 40 euros. Yeah, this is of course not a AAA title, anything blah blah, but if you're a genre fan of horror and turn of the century, 19th century, end of the 19th century, and vampire stuff, and England, London, dark gothic horror, brooding atmosphere, it is something that is to be recommended, at least so far. I'm not very far into the game, but it is good and fun. But quality-wise, it's for your regular game, it would be more something along the lines of like a, I don't know, like a Telltale Games kind of thing, more like 40 bucks, 30 bucks, something along those lines, because it is. The graphics are a little simplified. There is some. They've been very moderate with the count of polygons and everything. Models are partially very simple, and it's not as good as it could be. Which means it's usable on very low-end spec systems, relatively speaking, for modern times. But that's good. That's a good thing if you have an old computer. I would say like 30 to 40 bucks would be a reasonable price to ask for this game, if you know what you're getting. If you don't like the genre at all, then what are you even doing considering buying this?
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End.
Yes,
No one
I
dares to
will.
make saints, not even criminals.
My darling, I will show you how to do it yourself.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
No, I would never. Jesus Christ. That was the fucking cap of my bottle. My darling. That was just for shits and giggles. Something you need to learn.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith, willing to preach the good word.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
You may. I hope saving him will pay off in the end.
There be disgust on every street corner.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
What, it won't be appreciated? No way. Why am I talking to my own color? This is one of those camera angle issues they should definitely not have in a release state game.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm fine, really. I just need to sleep.
Milton is part of her social circle. Maybe he has something to tell us about. Pippa Hawkins.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
I have wasted too much energy for so little result.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
We just spoke.
You are going to reveal all your secret. Darkest thoughts in your heart.
My blood and soul. They belong to you now.
The life running in your veins. This dead flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave.
This is the best.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is the only drug I need.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
So I believe my haven is in the second floor, is what they said, right? Yes, wife, I will soon. Yes.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
See, and that's exactly what bothers me. If you would sleep in a coffin, I would be able to feel so much more like him. It's all about identifying yourself with the protagonist. Alright. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. I am amazed. The viewer count is at 1. I am overwhelmed. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, so I will not use any of my points for now, at least. So I guess we just saved now by using the bid. And this is the point where we leave. I did enjoy myself. It was a good experience. The game is fun and I will definitely continue playing it on the stream, even if nobody watches at all. This is exactly the kind of stuff that I like. And on that notion, I will still thank anyone who was still watching, because when I looked in the viewer list there were still a few names in there. I think a lot of them were actually bots. There's 2 names I recognize from automated channels that just randomly goes through different streamers, which is an interesting thing, but still kind of sad, because you'd rather have real people watching you, not just automated bot channels. So, thanks, but not so great. I wish upon all of thee that you are well, that you are miserable, that you are well miserable. And this congregation of the Church of the Morbid, hosted by the gentle and humble servant Jacques Beluga, that is me, is now concluded. So we shall end this with a general blessing of misery upon all of thee. So that was Vampyr First Impressions. Fun game. Buy it. If you like this kind of stuff, buy it. It's not the great revelation that I personally hoped it would be, but it's still fun. Buy it. Good night!